So great to see, though. We'll see some other Sapphires, I'm sure, shining through in the 40 minutes ahead of us.
Also on the bench, Georgia Sharam, the winger. They're not suiting up as well. She was explosive on day 2, so look for some new stars to potentially show their worth. We are set to go here. The Sapphires running left to right on your screen as the action does continue. And the Gems will have first chance with ball in hand. A dominant forward pack, I must say, has been the pillar of their performances so far. Fleming takes it forward. So now holding it up through Howard. So the Gems certainly coming into this matchup as the underdog, but that won't worry them. They have strike power across the park. And it's all about starting well, Alex.
Yeah, it is. It really sets the tone as well. You know, these first few minutes can be crucial, and we've seen that before. Big confidence boost as well. Obviously, early points always help, but we see a little bit of a tug-of-war at the moment, which I'm sure we'll see for the next few minutes.
As Hinch, the number 6, just gets caught on the outside, trying to create some opportunities. She's a live wire. Bamlett juggles it off the chest, into the head, and then just going forward. Costly start there for the Gems, getting good field position for the Sapphires.
Great field position for the Sapphires, and if they're playing like we've seen them play over the last 2 days, it could be a costly error made from the First Nations Gems. But also in the first few minutes, you expect some of those mistakes hopefully to be ironed out. Sometimes it's just those nerves bubbling up, which it must have been for Bamblett, because she has been a real player for the First Nations Gems.
So the Sapphires now with their first attacking chance. So much depth in their attack as they go left side through Shepherd. Playing short, Aruki Hosea. 2 tries yesterday. She was clutch in everything she put her hands on. Watson standing at first receiver and just coughs it up as well. So both sides, errors early on, feeling each other out. And look at the passion here from the Gems. They're fired up.
Yeah, you would be fired up too. It's a great response in terms of defence, and we'll see it in the replay here. An error from the Sapphires, which is quite rare. You don't see a lot of errors made from them because they are so clinical, but, you know, early minutes still. So I'm sure both coaches hoping for those to be ironed out now rather than get into the more critical point of the game and still making those ball security errors.
So Bamlett gets it out, now playing short. Hinch, good charge there from Weatherall in the forward jersey. Takes it just short of halfway. So the Gem trying to find some momentum here. As Howard moves it downtown, out of the Monaro club. 3rd year in the Gems program. So the Brumbies, ACT Brumbies in Super W as well. It's a versatile football, as so many young women are these days.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Like Jasmine Marissi, the one out there in the number 3 jersey for the Gems, came from hockey. So there's just so many pathways and gateways, it seems now, into Women's Rugby League, which I think is why it's diversifying and expanding as much as it is.
And what's our count now? I've had tap dance, basketball, hockey, league union.
Yeah, the tap dancing was probably the best one. I never imagined that to sort of be the gateway to such a violent and physical game, but, you know, it just shows that the pathways in rugby league are working.
And here they go again, the footwork down the left-hand side. And the crowd tells the story. First points to the Gems. And a great sequence of passing. And it was all too skillful. Murphy finishing it off in the corner.
Here it is, Layla Murphy. One of her career highlights was representing Queensland country in 2021 for the under-17s, and you can see why. A lovely cutout pass, finds the 4, quick hands and insight to find her winger in Layla Murphy, but Jamini Weatherall, a lovely cutout pass to find her on the edge there. Very early points.
Absolutely, that pass there created the space and opportunity. The juggle there, it was Weatherall who had to scoop it up with the bootlaces, and then Murphy finishing the job. And the Sapphires a bit shell-shocked here early on.
Yeah, we said this was going to be one of the matches to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the Queensland Sapphires retaliate. They're just so clinical in everything that they do, so I'm sure they're having some chat out there in the likes of their older heads and some of the ones that play the BMD as well, so a few playing together. So I'm sure that retaliation is coming, and they're looking to put some points on Gems.
So the kick from the touchline will stay left from Tiana West. So the score remains 4 points to nil as we approach the opening 5 minutes. Gone. I feel like I've seen a lifetime of rugby league. Great start early on for the Gems.
Great start. Here's that replay again. Lovely cut out from Hinch. Finds the number 4 in Weatherall, but it's the 20, Layla Murphy, who puts it down to find first points for First Nations Gems.
You mentioned it, Hinch. She really impressed me so far in this tournament. Such a elusive playmaker. Great subtle hands. We saw the skill set on display once again.
Yeah, it's something you'll see in both of these teams as well. I just think the sophistication and the level that both of the halves, or all of the halves, are playing at is probably why they're the front runners. And, you know, you need those halves to be directing traffic, particularly when you've got such powerful forward packs like both teams possess. So exciting to see how it develops.
And there she is again, Hinch, taking that one cleanly and now charging back. Full head of steam, Howard. And there's balls out the side there, and there's an error from the Gems. And one of the first errors we've seen from First Nations. So this sets up a chance for the Sapphires to respond.
A great chance to respond as well. Look at that field position for the Sapphires. They've got to be happy with that. I'm sure they've got plenty of structure. They've trained for this. They've worked for this. Looks like one of the leaders out there, Kayla Shepherd. She's setting up traffic on both sides. And the Gems are ready to retaliate.
So there's the feed now, Fenton, and they go left-hand side. Hinksman, an absolute weapon on day 1 and 2. So the Sapphires on the charge. Vivas holds it up. Short there for Tato. So Queensland under some duress early. Let's see how they fight back. Fenton plays it short. Gets hit for her troubles after the pass. As Tulfi takes it up and now just a metre short. The Queensland Sapphires, here they come. And again, crunched in a bruising tackle. And the Gems hold firm. Georgia Elliston this time coughing it up, and great D from the Gems.
Great D. That pressure that they're able to put and make the Queensland Sapphires, who are a very sophisticated team, crumble is really, really impressive.
So the Gems now bring it back from the outside nuts again. Weatherall, look at the hands. Her second year in the program, skillful centre. Had her hand in that first try, and look for the 4, Weatherall, to be heavily involved throughout this contest. Phillips goes right, holds it up. Morton Stewart, former soccer player. Add to the list, Alex. Talent across the board for the Gems.
Just shows that women really can do anything.
As we go to the skies, and he lets it bounce. It's risky, and it's anyone's ball there for Phillips, but I don't believe it's been played at. So that'll be a changeover.
Rare, I think, for the Queensland Sapphires to let it bounce. There was just no urgency from them either. I don't know if there was just no communication out there, but usually you see them jumping on the ball. So, rare.
They look a bit out of sorts early on, don't they, Queensland?
Yeah, might be missing a couple of key players, but great to see that there's other ones obviously taking them. But they don't have too much of a bench, the Sapphires, so they might be nursing a couple of injuries.
And again, bruising contact. Webb absolutely swallowed there, and a good shot. Barnham takes it up over halfway. Hinksman, that's good meters. That's better from the Sapphires. And the offload as well. Barnham, right hand side to Fenton. Holds it up. Tulfi. Plenty of chat in both attack and defence for these two sides. Fenton puts the grubber forward, gets deflected. Hinch lands on it. So once again, the Gems standing tall.
Great momentum behind the Gems in terms of their defence as well as offence. But really just jumping and capitalising off the errors that the Queensland Sapphires are making. More errors than we've seen probably in the last 2 games from the Sapphires as well.
Absolutely. A slow start from Queensland, but full credit to the Gems. They are looking the goods on day 3. And Laylee Phillips, the Tweed Seagulls, makes the error. Now Queensland gifted with good field position once again. So they're getting opportunities. Let's see how they can capitalise. That's a Tato, and again, look at the contact, the offload as well. Frightening stuff from both sides early on. So 10 minutes gone, this first half. Score remains 4 points to nil. Away the Gems, and there's another penalty. So Queensland have a chance just to take a breather, settle it down, and work out what's next.
Yeah, just that settler is so important, I think. Maybe a couple runs from their front row just to lay the law before bringing their backs in. They've got absolute power in the forward pack, particularly Jessica Howard out there, but obviously Tiana West with ball now.
So Barnham really lifting her involvements. Here's Shauna. She'll play it. They go to the right through Fenton. She's the chief playmaker. Plays at the back door, and Sioane this time coughing it up. And another error from Queensland. They're camped down this end of the field, but just looking for their opening try.
A rare mistake, I'll say, as well, from Kiara Sioane, the South Logan Magpie representative. Hard to say what it is, because it's rare to see this many errors coming so early on for the Queensland Sapphires, who have been really dominant up until now. But again, day 3, fatigue kicking in, loss of players to injury. I really can only see 2 of them on the bench, so you know their cavalry might have taken a hit.
And they'll be really tested in the second half when fatigue really settles in. But in the meantime, it's all about the Gems doing. And again, a bruising contact. Sioane over the top there, number 20. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of uncharacteristic-like errors from this Queensland side. So the Gems, once again, trying to complete a set error-free if they can. And that's a good charge, once again. As a Wallace, a really impact player. Hinch, dancing, sends it wide. Witherall shapes the pass and elects to take the tackle. And driven back as well for a trouble. And she'll play it right on the 40. Bemelin, part of the Parramatta system, former Australian schoolgirl. Number 7. That 6-7 combo for the Gems is working an absolute trick. Just working in tandem, left and right. And this time around, Bemelin with the clearing kick. And the skipper, Spreadborough, lets it bounce. And she has to go looking for it on her own try line. And now she's got some work to do. And again, the tackle was made from Murphy, who scored that opening score. So Queensland will settle and go again.
Yeah, they will, and they're going to have to try hard, because defence like that from the First Nations Gems, their strategy here is to keep them down here, because they can force an error potentially, and if it's consistent with how many errors they've been making this far, it really is possible.
And here's someone that can make something happen. Haruki Hosea summing it up on the outside, and here goes Webb, pinning the ears back. Will she need support? She finds Haruki Hosea, and under the sticks they go. And the Queensland Sapphires go coast to coast. And what a response from the Queenslanders.
They needed this. They needed this sort of confidence and the points back on the board. It's just as much of a mental game as it is physical. But Relna Baruki Hosea, whatever she touches turns to gold. And we'll see it here. It's this first break where she makes about 40-metre run. But who's with her? She's got back up inside. Passes back to her 13, I believe it was. The 3, sorry. Natalia Webb before passing back inside. She had some good hands there. Relna Uruki Hosea.
That is as good as you'll see. Great skill set. Outside, inside. Support lines was even better. And Queensland found their answer eventually on the fly. So locked up now at 4 apiece as Shepherd goes for the extra 2. 14 minutes gone. That is Hosea's 3rd try of the tournament. And one of the more important ones she will score. And Shepherd bangs it over from right in front of the sticks. To have a new leader in this contest. Queensland leading 6 points to 4. We see it one more time. And look at the support line here from Webb, just trailing up the middle. Had plenty of work to do. Hosea stuck around and even had the work to on the catch here as well, Alex.
It wasn't hard. Like she had a little bit of a fumble, but she knew exactly what she wanted. That's Ruki Hosea, the girl from Badu. And if you thought you recognised the speed, it runs in the family because that is the half-sister of Hamiso Tabuai, the fullback for the Dolphins. And I'm sure if it runs in the family, she'll be following into the NRLW in the years to come.
Part of the Brisbane Tigers setup. And she is something really special. One of the form players across this tournament so far. So the Gems, still 2 points of difference. Anyone's game. We'll see how the momentum has played out after that try. So the Sapphires charging up the field. Barnham waiting for it. And now Spreadborough, the skipper of the Central Queensland Capras. What have you made of the winger? She's been heavily involved across the tournament.
Yeah, she's been exceptional, the number 5 there. Bree Spreadsborough said her name about 100 times yesterday, I think. She also got in there with some points, but she's one of the older heads in the team, but you can see she just brings this experience. And on the wing, she does exactly what you want. Give her some space and she's off.
Speaking of wingers and flyers, on the outside, Queensland making some inroads through Webb. So now Vivas. Emily Vivas, she was very impactful on day 2 as Fenton gets her a kick and goes towards the skies, and Murphy coughs it up, and now it lands in the arms of Zoe Cook. So Queensland once again on the back of an error from the Gems have a great attacking chance. Barnum gets collected. They go left-hand side. Hinksman, she's tough. It's taken just short. So Queensland now looking to turn this game on its head. Barnham holding it up. Williamson. She'll play it right in front of the goalpost. Left-hand side through Shepherd. Long pass out to Hosea, and one more down the flank to Webb, and she gets collected. And some good contact from the Gems on that far side. They give away a sloppy penalty as well. They're their own worst enemy so far.
Yeah, definitely unnecessary there, just staying in too long. And when the Sapphires are looking as good as they look now, it's certainly not a penalty you'd be looking to give away.
So now Mook Kusu making some good charges through the forward pack of the Gems. Barnham plays short. Williamson from close quarters and will be held up just. Happy to bash it through their forwards so far, Queensland. See Fenton at the back door now, just probing for it now, looking for the wraparound as Cock. Zoe Cook there. Western Clydesdale's player takes it up. Barnham plays short, and now, massive shot once again. There's no way through there from the Gems defence. Barnham puts it on the toe, cops the deflection, and then collected. Has it gone forward from both sides? It has. The initial knock-on being called from the Gems. So, Alex, the Sapphires will go again.
They will go again, but I've got to say, considering this is now the 3rd set, the defence from the First Nations Gems, they've just made this impenetrable wall, and I'm hoping they can back it up for a 3rd time to kick the Queensland Sapphires out, who just look like they're gaining momentum more and more as this first half goes on.
Gems has been inviting Queensland back into this match. The penalties, the errors, costly so far, but still 2 points of difference. And we'll pack down for the scrum. You see in the back play there, the chat coming from Shepherd and Fenton, the 2 halves on the left and the right, just demanding their forwards. Great leadership across the board. Great
leadership, and probably why these are the 2 front runners as well. We spoke about it earlier, but in terms of halves and sort of leadership on the field, you've got these old heads who've got a lot of experience, but also communication. which is always going to be key in any game.
So here they go again. Shepherd plays short. Hosea from close quarters, reaching and scoring. And there is her second. Relna Ruki Hosea, an absolute weapon.
That is a Torres Strait sensation from the Bardu centre. Relna Waruki Hosea. Some more individual brilliance. There it is there. She's run onto the ball with pace and she's palmed off about 4 or 5 of the First Nations gems to put it down again for her Sapphires. The Sapphires be shining out there.
This young girl is built different. It's the late change of direction off her left foot. Just putting some doubt in the defensive minds of the Gems. And after an incredible start from the Gems, as we expected, we knew the Sapphires would fight back, and they have in a big way. 10 points to 4 as Shepherd lines up the extra 2. This will be a final play of this first half. No good from Shepherd. So that will be half-time. And the Queensland Sapphires holding a slight lead, 10 points to 4. Welcome back to the live action at the Harvey Norman Women's National Championship. What a game we have on our hands. First Nations Gems, they had the perfect start, and then fighting back was the Sapphires, leading 10 points to 4 at the break. So now Queensland will have a chance. Once again, Alex, what would you make that first half?
Yeah, like you said, perfect start from the First Nations Gems, but I've got to say an even better response from the Queensland Sapphires. They're playing the game that they have the last 2 days in this competition. So I'm looking for and hoping that First Nations Gems get the first points, because I think this will make for an enthralling match next 20 minutes.
Such an exciting fixture. And plenty more to come. Good to have your company on NRL.com and NRLW YouTube as well. Thanks for joining us as the Sapphires look to get some momentum down the edge through Cook. Zoe Cook, she's been impressive this game as well. So much depth to the Queenslanders. Barnham plays short. Now trucking up the midfield. Barnham just waiting for it. Left-hand side, out to Shepherd. Gets her a kick, and it's a good option as well. Trying to plug the corner. Got some work to do. Does it. Paxton. She gets there in the nick of time. And Lily Paxton, probably the first time I've called her name today. She's been somewhat quiet.
Yeah, that's what I think as well, but she did really well to get that ball under pressure, particularly when you've got Waruki Hosea running,
Looming.
darting at you. So she's done well under pressure.
This will be an added relief for the Gems. They get a penalty to try and get a response. They need to score first in the second half, that's for sure. So Bamlett will tap and go. Tiana West moves it forward, and she'll play it on the 30. Straightening. Here's Fleming. And again, some cheap meters there from Phillips. Playing just up the road for her home club, the Tweed Seagulls. Bamlett plays short, now at the back door. Good sequence of passing there. Hinch sends a floater, and that's dangerous. That's real dangerous. And clear the tarmac. It's takeoff time. And Bree Spreadborough, the skipper, will go under the sticks for the Queenslanders.
Oh, it's the second or third intercept I think we've seen in this competition that's ended in points. But Bree Spreadsborough, we said her name plenty in the last 2 games and in the first half. But here's where it starts. A bit of a far pass from the number 6 in Hinch to find not her player, but Bree Spreadsborough. And once Bree's got some space, she's got the speed to take it the distance.
Look at the long stride on Bree as well. Very impressive athlete. And she read that like an absolute book. So Queensland now setting up a commanding lead. 14 points to 4 as Shepherd lines up the kick. And Hinch, probably the first real error I've seen from her.
Yeah, first error, but, first few minutes of this second half, We saw how strong they started, so they've got the skill and the expertise to be able to execute some more points. They just need to regain, I think, and go back to the basics.
They had to play that expansive style. They want to get back into this contest. We see it here. Just really flaunting with danger. Hence a floater too.
Just great insight as well and vision from Spreadsborough. She was almost looming there. So I think Hinch will certainly be on the lookout now before she does the cutout passes to her wings. But Spreadsborough, individual brilliance from the number 5.
I'm very pleased with that result. And the extra 2 was good as well. So 16 points to 4. A real promising start for the Sapphires and making that challenge all a bit harder for the Gems. Back to live action as that one is chipped centre field and eventually scooped up. Henry relieves the pass. So the Sapphires, so meticulous in their structure, will go back to their work and just keep grinding away. Good carry once again. Hinksman. Another really impressive young talent. Mukusu. The front rower takes it just short of the halfway. Now for the Sapphires. Setting up a good lead as well. Shepherd going towards the line. Vivas holding it up. And now bumping her way forward. Emily Vivas. What a carry from Vivas. Still going. Eventually brought to ground. That is a inspirational charge from Emily. Now Watson playing short. Hinksman plays that to Mukusu, who just trucks it up. And is probing in behind now, directing some traffic. Here's the halves of the Sapphires, and here's one of them. Fenton just stabs it ahead. And so a great bounce for the Sapphires. Zoe Cook regathers. And thankfully, in the nick of time, the tackle was made, and that will be a changeover. But everything is going the way of the Sapphires in this second half.
Yeah, the halves out there, like Talara Bamlett. Taylor Fenton for the Queensland Sapphires has been exceptional. A workhorse out there. But even just with the kicks, like all strategy, just real sophisticated plays and just working the team around the paddock.
Bamlett, number 7, forced to do some work. Now Hinch shovels that one on. It hasn't gone to plan whatsoever for the Gems. Rugby league can be a funny game sometimes. When you have that momentum, it's very hard to stop.
Yeah, and the Gems just haven't seen a lot of ball in this second half, but unfortunately when they do, the defence and the pressure that the Queensland Sapphires have been able to put on them to be forcing these errors, there's too many errors in this second half for the Gems.
So dangerous times here for the Gems as the Sapphires set up left-hand side, and Shepherd goes first receiver now. On the back door is Henry, and she's looming ever so close. Gets the fend going and beats a couple for driven into the turf there. Good tackle there from Newton underneath the ribs. Lost about 5 or so metres there, but Queensland maintain possession. Shepherd finds Vivas. And she bobbles it. It has gone backwards, says the referee, and now apparently there was a hand in there. Alex just raking it out, so it is further onslaught.
Yeah, I thought it was great defence from Azaria Wallace, though, the 18 for First Nations Gems. Just stopping Emily in her tracks, but ref's seen a hand, so another 6 is not what they needed.
Savannah Tato, she gets things moving. Watson waiting for it. And plenty of pressure coming in, and you can't be doing that. Taking out Alira Watson without the ball, and that's back-to-back penalties, and now a bit of frustration creeping in from the Gems.
Yeah, they really need to level out because that was just silly.
So playing quickly now, and now very close across the line. Is there some Gems hands underneath? And there is. Held up the call. Well done from the First Nations Gems. Denying Williamson. But here we go again, not out of trouble just yet. Hinksman. Dangerous times here for the Gems. 16-4 the scoreline. That's a floating pass, and Fenton is absolutely clobbered. In the air as well. Taylor Fenton under a lot of pressure, but what a hit from the Gems. And that sort of moment right there can really get some confidence in your side.
Perfect defense from Tiana Hinch, the number 6. Just by herself too, just shot out. She knew exactly where it was going. Here's the replay. I would say an absolute try scorer. It's gone out the back of play. And I'm sorry, Tiana was there with her. It was some individual, some brilliance from one of the other sisters for First Nations Jebs. There it is, the number 19, Taylor Juckles.
An absolute shot and a half as well. So now the Gems still in this contest by any means. 10 to go. And now they get a penalty as well. So they need to build confidence from that hit and take that into attacking opportunities as well.
Yeah, these are certainly helping. Not helping the offence, though, for the Queensland Sapphires. Just some piggybacks for First Nations Gems down the field.
So Wallace plays it. Plays short. Number 9 on the field now, Luswitz, part of the Newcastle Knights development squad. Bit of Polish heritage as well for Taz. Wallace plays it right on halfway. Right foot step. So the Sapphires under some pressure here to maintain this lead. The Gems desperate for points. And that's an awkward catch. He's done his superbly behind the back to hold on to that.
He's done really well. That almost went around her whole body.
So Bemlet with the kick, and the chasers are good, but coughed up for the Sapphires, and here they go in the corner. Indy Tillett diving out, and she slams it down. And there may be a chat here. I thought so. The knock on in the place of the ball, and that is absolute heartbreak from Indy Tillett. What a moment, Alex.
Yeah, let's see this replay here. Visionary, great kick, great pressure and speed from the First Nations Gems. There's Indy Tillett. She picks it up and she's off.
Looking. Oh. Thoughts, Alex?
Thought it was a try. But, you know, refs had a problem with that grounding. You know what? This is what the First Nation Gems can do, though. So we've seen what they can do. They just need to execute it, and have a little bit more security with grounding that ball. But Indy Tillett, the Torres Strait Islander, very proud Torres Strait Islander, has been sensational in the campaign for the First Nations Gems.
And that would have been very interesting if they were awarded that try. Could have bridged the gap. Potentially could have made the 6 points of difference, but not to be. The assistant was right there. She made the call, so we'll back her.
Yeah, great job as well from all the women in pink. They're developing just as much as the game is too. So it's really encouraging to see females just diversifying in the game in terms of the players, officials, coaches as well.
Opportunities in every aspect of rugby league, things you'd love to see. So the Gems do have ball in hand and have a chance to respond. 8 minutes left on the clock. Time is ticking down. We have a look here, and that will not help their cause. Another unforced error coming against the Gems.
Yeah, really need to rein it in now. They sort of were on that high from the back of Indy Tillett's brilliance, but they just need to rattle it back in and bring it back in and stop making those forced errors, because once we get down into this end, it's a real danger territory.
So the Queensland Sapphires, potentially one more here, could be the knockout blow. As Barnham goes pressing forward, Watson. In fact, that's Barnham getting involved now, the 13. Shauna Barnham. Takes it down centre field. Watson And again, the big bodies up front. Elliston this time. And here come Queensland. Fenton out the back door. That's not the best pass of the day. Bounces a few times, and it's there for the Jams. And swooping on it is Kayla Fleming. And that's good defence there from Kayla. Up in the face, forcing the error. As Newton looks to streak away down the flank. In fact, that's Hinch there who picked it up, and she looks to be in a bit of discomfort as well. She will play it eventually. So what a nail-biting contest we've seen. Women's Rugby League at its very best in both attack and defence this match. Tiana West. So the impact players off the bench now for the Jams, trying to will their way home. Out now to Paxton. Shovels it on. And here's an opportunity. This goes Tillett. In chase is Webb, and she gets her from behind. Great tackle there. Webb gets down Tillett, but still alive for the First Nations Jams. Bamlett puts on the toe, and it will be too much. So come all the way back. Great patience there from the Sapphires fullback Henry, just to will it across the dead ball.
Yeah, and Tillett becoming really prominent now after she was denied the first try. I think she's hungry for a second. Great game IQ from her to step back in, but Queensland Sapphires on the defence can't fault.
Speaking of hungry, Henry, the fullback for the Sapphires, with a good carry. The score remains 16-4. 5 to play. And that's the skipper right there, leading by example. Spreadborough scored that sensational interception try earlier in the game. Tato of the South Logan Magpies. Savannah, she'll play it. And now Watson gets caught, ball and all. So here goes Fenton. Flat. Once again, Zoe Cook. She has been one of the best today. The number 12 for the Sapphires. So Fenton down the short side. Stabs it forward. A challenging kick to scoop up, and Newton does very well. There's a black and purple. Smother her in that far corner. So now, Alex, the Gems, they got 90 metres to go here.
Yeah, they do, and I'm sure they can do it as well. They just need to get out of this zone, but the Queensland Sapphires defence, they've just been able to force so many errors just because they're putting so much pressure on the First Nations Gems. But, you know, if they can work it out and start playing the feed a little bit more and getting it out to their wingers and their centres, I think we can start to get some metres for the First Nations Gems.
So the Gems, they'll keep competing to the final whistle, that's for sure. The Sapphires defence is really lifted. And just the errors are really cruelling this Gem side. As we hinge down on her haunches on that far side. I hope she's all right, because she's been very impressive. But we'll come back centre field for the scrum. Who's impressed you today, Alec, for the Sapphires? Anyone stood out?
Yeah, it's got to be Relna Waruki Hosea. Some Bardu brilliance there from the Torres Strait Islander centre. For me, just everything she touched, well, 2 of them have ended with 4 points. So, you know, I think that the Queensland Sapphires have continued their brilliance, and they just seem to get better every day. But, you know, these 2 teams, I almost would love to see a full game from them. I don't think that 40 minutes is quite enough to showcase the level of skill that's on display for both teams. But that's what it is, Carnival footy. You've got 40 minutes to shine, and you know what? The Sapphires certainly have shone today.
Absolutely. They had to work for it too. It didn't go their own way in that first half.
No, it didn't start really great at all. It was so many mistakes from the Queensland Sapphires, but you know, they came back after half time. They regathered themselves, and they've put on a really classy second half. Very similar to what we've seen previously from the Sapphires.
We look forward to the next game coming up. Fiji up against Victoria That'll be an absolute crack. And we saw Fiji that wild finish to yesterday's fixture. They'll be hungry for their win.
Yeah, that Melanesian injection into this competition has just been wild between Fiji and Papua New Guinea. It's so exciting to see this competition diversifying.
Great to have the Pacific family joining us at the Women's National Championship. As we come back to live action now, it's all been the Queensland Sapphires in this second half. Watson, Mukkusu, straightening. Good shot from Phillips over the top there. So here they go again. Can they get one final score to continue the onslaught heading into day 4 and what we will see Queensland in the pointy end of the competition. Right inside, Fenton holds it up. Cut pass just behind there. The arms of Sioane. So she loses it and the Jams will turn it over. Final 50 seconds coming up. Good carry, Murphy. She scored the only try for the Gems. Did Layla. Phillips waiting for it. And here's Newton, who's someone who was the star of the show yesterday. Been well contained today from Queensland. Impressive young talent. Inside ball from Bamlin. Gets hit hard for her troubles after the pass. Bamlin holding up, short. Off her right foot is Casey. Playing rugby league for 12 years. Reece Casey loves the game and proudly representing the Gems today. And that will be all she wrote here on day 3. The Queensland Sapphires continue their winning ways, defeating the First Nations Gems 16 points to 4.